presentation of WGN Sports.
It is a gorgeous St. Patrick's Day here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are at Phoenix Municipal Stadium, the home of the Oakland A's for Chicago Cubs baseball here on WGN Sports. It's the Cubs and A's in Cactus League action, and we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Happy St. Patty's Day. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs pounded out 5 home runs in a win yesterday over the Royals. The other split squad beat the Rangers. But today, JD, we're going to talk some pitching. Right-hander Scott Baker will make his Cubs spring debut coming off Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, and Scott Baker really, compared to the average guy, a little bit ahead of schedule. Typically with Tommy John surgery, you're talking 16 to 18 months. He's less than a year removed as he takes the mound today, hoping to get a couple innings of work in. He says his arm feels fine. So a big day for Scott Baker here in Phoenix.
And he will start the season on the disabled list. Hopefully we'll be back sometime in April. The A's, the defending American League West champs. The Cubs will play them in interleague play coming up in the regular season. Yesterday, again, it was the bats. 3 homers in the first inning. The Cubs hit 5 in all as they pounded the Royals. We'll have the Cubs and A's from Phoenix coming up next. Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Ford. Go further in any one of Ford's many fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition on WGN TV is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. That's the Chicago River dyed green. It's a little colder there than it is here. Very windy. 83 degrees here in the valley. Wind is blowing out. Humidity 12%. And looks like a full house in the A's spring training home. Now the Cubs lineup again. They kept hitting the ball out of the ballpark all day yesterday. Former Athletic David DeJesus will DH. Baez gets to move up in the lineup. He's hitting second. Rizzo, Soriano, Lillibridge in the middle, along with Dave Sapelt in right. Wellington Castillo will catch. Christian Villanueva's at third, and Alberto Gonzalez at second.
A's look this way this afternoon in the field. Left field, it's Shane Peterson. Chris Young, the former Diamondback, in center. Michael Taylor's in right. Third to first is Donaldson. The newcomer Nakajima from Japan, Sogard and Brandon Moss. Behind the plate, veteran John Jaso for crafty lefty Tommy Malone in his first full year in the big leagues last year. Very solid, 13-10 with a .374 earned run average.
Well, the A's had such a great year last year, and Malone was a big part of their rotation. Came over in the Gio Gonzalez deal, and the first pitch is taken low and outside for ball one.
And Malone, his game plan very similar to yesterday's starter for the Royals, Bruce Chen, a finesse left-hander. He's got a real good changeup.
There's a strike.
DeJesus started the ball game yesterday by jerking a home run to right field off of the lefty Bruce Chen.
And some technical issues today, so we do not have the benefit of our center field camera. So you kind of get our view here from behind home plate. Cubs winning a couple of games. That's where it should be. But it's a spring training ballpark, so we'll make do.
You got to be flexible, Len, in spring training.
There's a 1-2 on the way, and DeJesus stays alive. Cubs winning both games here in the Valley yesterday and also in Las Vegas. If they do the same today, they'll get back to 500 in the Cactus League. They're 10-12. The A's had a split squad yesterday. They played a 13-13 tie against the Angels.
That had to be a lot of fun. How long did that take? Week and a half?
A little under 4 hours, I'm told.
So whoever brought the lineup card out to home plate for the A's yesterday is not allowed to go near it today.
Jamie Quirk, the Cubs bench coach and the manager today. We'll talk with Jamie in a couple of innings. Cubs wearing the green caps here on St. Patrick's Day, and nice that the A's decided to wear green uniforms today.
How about that? I think he has to be Jamie O'Quirk today, doesn't he?
Dave McKay.
Yeah, that works.
A 3-2 from Malone. Fly ball to left. This is slicing. Peterson is over, and a nice grab in the Cubs bullpen on the run.
Peterson takes one peek down, finds the bench, realizes he has little time to settle in and make that catch.
Now Javier Baez, 2 more homers yesterday, 4 over the last 2 days in a span of 5 at bats. That included homers on 3 consecutive pitches. So he says 4 on the spring. He really has 6. 2 were against Team Japan, which was an exhibition during the exhibition season.
We keep talking about those home runs that don't count as opposed to the ones in the games that don't count either.
Well, this one, nobody really saw it land.
And you hear the crowd react with a big swing and a miss. He's that kind of player. When he decides to let that bat fly, there's no holding back.
Well, he and Jorge Soler will be back in minor league camp in a couple of days. They need to start getting regular at bats, and so do the Cubs' everyday starters here with now 2 weeks to go before opening day. Three and 1 the count. Oh, it's full 3-2.
That's the big mistake you make against Tom Malone. If you think you're going to get a fastball in a fastball count, think twice. His changeup is his best pitch. Throws it over 40% of the time. And he's one of those guys that loves to take advantage of an aggressive hitter.
The base hit smacked into center.
Nice adjustment there by Baez, and that's one of the scouting reports I read on him said he does tone things down. He has a two-strike approach where he's willing to cut that swing down a little bit, especially after being fooled by the changeup. A lot going on there with that bat waggle and all that, but ultimately he gets it quiet and he's ready to go.
Now Anthony Rizzo 0 for 3 in his return from the WBC yesterday with a couple of strikeouts. We'll hear from Anthony coming up a little later. Missed the inside corner. A's at double play depth. Just off the outside corner, according to Hal Gibson. Working the plate, Gary Darling, Ben May, and always good to see Stu Sherwater.
You've had a lot of Stu this spring, haven't you?
Yeah. Big lead by Baez.
Yeah, memory serves me, and I saw Tom Malone once when he was with the Nationals. He's got a very good pickoff move. And it glides over there to first base with that front leg. Yeah, that's pretty deceptive. Borderline balk move. Yeah, you could have called a balk on that one as that front foot went a little bit more towards home plate than first base.
The A's had a rookie start each of the last 14 games of last season. That's the third longest such streak ever. And it just seems like, JD, whenever Billy Beane makes a move to send an established player somewhere and gets a bunch of guys nobody's heard of, a year or two down the road, everyone says, now I see why Billy made that deal.
Method to the madness.
They won 94 games last year and grabbed the West. The last series of the season. Well hit out into deep center. But Chris Young will make the catch. Baez tagging on his way to second, and he's in.
Well, I don't know if he did that on his own, if Brian Harper yelled at him to come back and tag, but that is a heads-up, very instinctive baseball play by a very young player. There's a lot of guys that are just going to go halfway on that. Oh, now they're going to appeal and call him out.
Apparently they said he left early.
That was still a good headsy play.
So the A's appeal, and Baez apparently left too soon. A's are coming up.
Best Western allows me to make my business personal.
To support my family.
See, I'm just like you.
I keep
Well, here's this play again to end the top half of the first inning with Javier Baez on first base. And it looks to me like he was okay. You see Young retreat. This is a good heads-up play to realize that ball was going to be caught, scramble back, and get himself into scoring position. Ultimately, it didn't work out because he was ruled out on the appeal. But, boy, with that look at it, it looked to me like he was okay.
So right-hander Scott Baker pitching in a Cactus League game for the first time ever. The former Minnesota Twin missed all of last year after Tommy John surgery in April. We've seen for a couple of innings and a first pitch strike on Eric Sogard.
Actually 2011, Scott did not pitch last year. Made 21 starts in 2011 and pitched well. Lifetime 63 and 48 with the Twins. Just a good headsy pitcher. Not going to overpower you. Throws a lot of strikes. Does not walk people. Four-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. He has pitched in this ballpark, though, in the Arizona Fall League some years ago.
A base hit out in the center for Sogard, who continues his hot spring. Let's get the rest of the A's lineup. Shane Peterson coming up. He's playing left. Chris Young came over from Arizona in the offseason. Yoenis Cespedes finished second in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting. Moss at first. Jaso behind the plate. Former Cub farmhand Josh Donaldson. Hiro Nakajima has struggled. And Michael Taylor's in right. This is Peterson. Well, for Scott Baker, coming back from the elbow reconstruction, playing catch, pitching in a sim game, then a minor league game, but none of those things are the same as facing a big league club, correct?
Right, and now so the adrenaline's ramped up a little bit for a day like today. And you have to just kind of calm your nerves a little bit. Even though he's a veteran, he's been around a long time, he hasn't been out there against live competition in quite some time.
6'4", 216. And it's 2-0. Tapped foul behind the plate. From Shreveport, Louisiana. Went to Oklahoma State.
And that Tommy John surgery had culminating about a 2-year run there. Just a lot of elbow problems. Gotten his way. Now he's got that all cleaned up and hopefully has a lot of good years ahead of him.
You mentioned some guys, it takes a little longer to come back, and if everything progresses on schedule, he could be back right around about a year to the day of the surgery, which was April 17th. Runner goes, and there's a foul out of play. Hit and run for the A's. As you saw Peterson expand his zone. Talking about run expectancy, which we will do throughout the season. You put a runner on with nobody out, and the league average is score at least one run 40% of the time.
Peterson, the left-handed hitter, up there. Gonzalez stays home. He does not cheat towards the bag at second base. This is what Dale Schwaim has done since taking over the Cubs. He keeps his second baseman playing straight up. Baez, the shortstop, cheats over towards the bag, so he's there to handle the relay. And he likes his infielders to stay home on the pull side.
Runner goes, ball four. Good throw by Castillo, but the A's have him at first and second.
Cubs defensively this afternoon. Soriano at left. Brett Lillibridge was the third baseman yesterday. He's in center field today. Dave Sapelti in right. Villanueva, Baez, Gonzalez, and Rizzo third to first. Wellington Castillo behind the plate for Baker. Triple plays in order, Len. How's it dialing up? Luck of the Irish. Is Baker Irish?
I didn't ask him.
Baker? It could be Irish, couldn't it?
Well, today he is.
Yeah.
It's Chris Young.
Just throw him a little hanging breaking ball, let him yank it on one hop to third base.
Well, there is a breaking ball, and it is a strike. The A's, and we'll see them again in interleague play, used a lot of platoons last year, and Chris Young could be, in that mix against lefties once the regular season starts. Bob Melvin did a wonderful job with this team that was expected to not do anything. He ended up winning their division, and Melvin became the manager of the year.
And some young players step up. Of course, Cespedes with that big rookie year. Josh Reddick had a real nice year for him. And then all those young pitchers coming through the way they did. No one could have anticipated that. And that's what you need to have happen to have a surprise year. Get performances beyond what you expect.
Cubs will be at the Coliseum for the first time ever on July 2nd. O.co Coliseum. 0-2 to Young. High and deep. Soriano going back to the warning track. Does he have room? Little leap. And it's out. A 3-run homer for Chris Young.
Unfortunately, no mulligans allowed in baseball, but Scott Baker would like to have that one back. Would like to start this inning from scratch. As a matter of fact, he had Chris Young down a hole 0-2, and Young's a guy who'll chase. You can put him away with a breaking ball out of the zone, but he threw him a fastball down around the knees, but over the heart of the plate. And Young has a lot of pop. Soriano tracking guy thought perhaps he'd be able to make a play on it. Just ran out of room.
Single to start it, the walk, and then the home run.
A spirit bridge there in the dugout, like youth soccer.
Cespedes, the DH, takes ball one. What a rookie year he had last year. I guess the only problem he had in terms of being a rookie is that Mike Trout was a rookie too.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Just reaches out, sends a lazy fly out to Soriano, who makes a grab for the out. So one away, and it's Brandon Moss, another huge contributor last year. 84 games. He hit 21 home runs, third most by an American League player in fewer than 90 games. Swing and a miss.
You alluded to it earlier with Billy Beane. What they're trying to do is you get guys like Moss. Maybe Chris Young falls into that category now. They acquired Jed Lowry from the Astros. He's a switch hitter. Some switch hitters and some platoon guys. So you have that left-right advantage.
Every base hit.
Take some guys that, if they were playing every day, might struggle, but you put them in a position where they got the platoon advantage a high percentage of the time. You can massage your roster in such a way to get the right guys in place that buy into that. Could have a lot of success.
Here's another guy who might be a little underrated. John Jaso, left-handed hitting catcher. He had a .394 on base average with the Mariners last year. He takes ball one. Young with a 3-run homer here in the first. Get out of play. This is the oldest ballpark in the Cactus League. Phoenix Muni opened in 1964, and Willie Mays was the first player to ever hit a home run here.
Home to the Giants in '64.
It was. They beat Cleveland that day, March 8th, 1964. Wilson! Wilson!
Surely you will let my people go.
Off the corner outside. Well, you spent one spring training here in the Cactus League, and this was your home park, although you have no recollection.
No, it was 1992. I came to camp with the A's as a non-roster invitee after a dismal year, my final year in Houston. It didn't work out so well for me. Trotting across the country a couple different times looking for work.
Well, next year will be the final year for the A's here, and then they'll move over to Ho-Ho-Com Stadium in Mesa. There's a good look at our view. Runner goes on that 3-2, and it's outside, and that might be it.
Yeah,
the pitch count's going to get him.
Yeah, and working awfully hard here in this one inning. It's pitch count, and it's how much a guy's laboring, and obviously they're going to be very cautious with Scott.
So that's it for Scott Baker in his Cactus League debut. Casey Coleman coming on when we return.
Go up.
St. Patrick's Day here in Phoenix. Beautiful day. Huge crowd on hand. Old school spring training ballpark. Here's Casey Coleman into the game a little earlier than he had expected.
Things did not go well for Casey last year in a Cubs uniform. You saw that high ERA. Mostly out of the pen. He did make one start. He's been up and down with the Cubs over the last 3 seasons.
Facing Josh Donaldson, who used to catch in the Cubs farm system. Now he's the third baseman with the A's. You mentioned Jed Lowry. Sounds like Lowry's going to play almost every day. He can play second, short, and third. We've got Donaldson at third. We've got Scott Sizemore, Jemiah Weeks. They started the spring training battling for second base. And Hiro Nakajima, who's on deck. Right back to Coleman. Little bobble. Still time, and he gets it out at first.
And not a lot of pace on that comeback, so it kind of takes you out of the rhythm of trying to turn that double play. And Coleman's a good athlete. in his haste, bobbled, lost any chance of a double play. Would have been difficult anyway. Pitchers tend to get greedy, though, in these situations. Get a little comeback with a thick of 2 and get out of the inning. A little mishandle off the heel of his glove, and fortunately able to scramble and at least get 1.
Casey, a very good athlete. So here's Nakajima, who recently admitted he's just not comfortable yet. After 11 years in Japan, 3 gold gloves there, 8 times an all-star, but just hasn't clicked yet here in spring training.
Well, you referred to Jed Lowry. Lowry, a guy who played a lot of shortstop with the Astros last year, missed a big chunk of the season due to injury, but a guy who can move around the infield. And that is the plan right now for the A's. But if Nakajima were to really struggle, you could see Lowry taking over a big chunk of the playing time at short.
That's where he played last year in Houston.
And that just kind of goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about the flexibility that the A's have with players who can play a lot of different positions. And the Cubs, to a certain extent, have got the same program going on, adding Hairston, who's so good against lefties, and Scherholz in right field, Sapelt, you know, kind of the outfield mix where you can mix and match.
Coleman trying to get out of this inning. Fly ball out into right center. And it'll be Dave Sapelt to make the catch. They get 3 on a homer by Young. It's 3-0 A's.
Golden Corral.
Oh, great to see Willie Wilson will right to left. Bert Campy Campaneris, Raleigh Fingers, Fergie Jenkins. Fergie and friends meeting and greeting and signing autographs.
Hall of Famers and Fingers and Jenkins and a couple other guys who had outstanding long major league careers.
Chris Young with a 3-run blast in the first inning. Oh, Raleigh still got the handlebar going.
Well, you got a brand, right? Got to work it.
Soriano against Tommy Malone, and Cubs left fielder takes a strike. He homered in the first yesterday. On the ground to third, Donaldson will charge.
Treat your guests to an awesome view of Wrigley Field from the Budweiser Bleacher Suite. The Bleacher Suite features a sports bar atmosphere with new TVs, high top tables, and windows that open to give you the atmosphere of the bleachers in your own private room. It's the best of both worlds. This suite can hold up to 100 guests, includes food, drinks, and parking. For more information, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200.
Brent Lillibridge playing center today, and it is Meet Jim or Meet JD on our telecast today. So we are soliciting tweets and emails, Facebook requests. We'll give you all those addresses here in a second. So there you go. You can email us, LennonJD@Tribune.com.
Please.
Facebook.com, Twitter.com as well.
Be nice.
And Jeffrey Scholes Sr. wants to know if Harry Carey ever butchered your last name.
Let's just assume he did.
That's a fair ball, and Lillibridge is out.
I don't know. The only time he would have been talking about me is when I would have been in the game.
But you never heard secondhand that Harry.
I do remember hearing him call Ken Committee. I remember that one. Mitch, as I said, I've been working on my backwards pronunciation all spring.
There you go. One strike on Sapelt. Tomahawk to deep left. And it is gone. Hit the top of the wall and then that billboard. And it's a home run. Dave Sapelt putting the Cubs on the board.
Putting on a pretty good power display this spring, second only to the Seattle Mariners in long balls in the Cactus League. 5 jacks yesterday in the ball game here. And now Sapelt with 2 outs jumps on a hanging breaking ball. Pride of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers leaves the yard. Boom, boom.
Now the catcher, Wellington Castillo, inside. So Sapelt bidding for that 5th outfield spot. You don't see a lot of home plate collisions on home runs that leave the yard, but we almost had one here. Oh, look at it.
Very aggressive bat boy, trying to make a play. Trying to impress in spring training. See if he can get an invite back.
Well, in the regular season, there's a minimum age requirement of 14, but I think a little loose here in spring training.
Is that the Dusty Baker rule? When his kid almost got smoked?
I think Darren is now 14. Right? So when we see the Reds, we'll have to ask Dusty if Darren will be the bat boy again. Yeah, it was the 02 World Series. Darren would have been, I think, 4.
The JT Snow that scooped him up.
Yeah. Well, Darren's a good ball player. Outside, full count after an 0-2 start on Castillo.
Castillo, a guy who has worn out left-handed pitching in his brief major league career.
That's the changeup on the 3-2. Again, we'd love to hear from you. Questions for my new partner. 3-1, the A's lead the Cubs. Couple of home runs. Chris Young in the first, Dave Chappelle in the second. Not a ton of shade here in this ballpark. Fans are going to get a lot of the sun. Casey Coleman, who came in for Scott Baker, retired 2 in a row to get out of the first inning. And now he'll face Michael Taylor, the right fielder. The 1-0 breaking ball was up, fouled back. Now you're going to think I'm making this up, but I'm not.
All right, I believe you.
Michael Taylor recently missed over a week. He cut his right pinky finger while throwing out his gum.
Ooh, yeah, you got to be careful. What do you do? Do you know?
Well,
as
you see, he's a very tall guy, and I guess his hand caught the ceiling light in the dugout. Have you heard of a guy missing a week for throwing out his gum?
No, but that just opens up that whole can of worms. There's Sammy missed a bunch of time because he sneezed and strained a muscle.
You had the Clint Barmas venison mishap a few years ago. Called strike 3 on a good fastball.
Larry Anderson fell in a hot tub, had to go on the DL. And there's been a couple guys. I think John Smoltz is one of them, and I don't know if he had to miss a start, but didn't Smoltz try to iron his shirt while he was wearing it and burn himself?
I think A.J. Burnett fell into that trap once. I mean, who hasn't ironed a shirt while wearing it? I wouldn't try it at home.
You can understand the thinking, though. Try to streamline the process.
It's like brushing your teeth in the shower.
It's like Kramer making a salad in the shower.
That's a base hit. And Sogard is 2 for 2.
And there was a story, and I don't know if this is true or not. I really hope that it is. The Kirby Puckett used to tell on Shane Mack, and that Shane Mack was ironing in his hotel room, and it set the iron down. And then this was back in the day when people actually used hotel phones. The phone rang, and he picked up the iron and stuck it on his face, which I played with Shane. I kind of believed that one.
I think it would have been better if he had tried to iron his clothes with the phone as opposed to the opposite.
No, he's probably going through a little slump, a lot of things on his mind, distracted. Phone rings, grab the iron.
Sogard at first, 1 out. Changeup missed. It's 2-0 on Peterson.
It's going to be fun to watch, and obviously working for the Astros last year and playing the Cubs as much as they did, I was able to watch the deployment that Dale used in the infield. But now getting a chance to watch it play out every day, it's going to be fun to see how this influences games. And I can certainly understand his philosophy. And I love guys that think outside the box and are willing to try to do something a little bit differently. And now with all the information that is available to managers, obviously his deployment in the double play situation is something he studied long and hard. And especially in this situation when you have a left-handed hitter up in a man on first base, because if you cheat up the middle, typical double play depth, and open up that hole on the right side, the likelihood not only of a base hit, but then the guy on first base goes first to third, so you're giving up 2 bases there. And the trade-off is you're playing for a double play, and if you look at the stats at the end of the year, teams that lead the league in double plays, do they average 1 a game? I'm not sure that they do. So the likelihood that you're going to get that double play ball isn't that great.
And the key is to get an out. And if you can get 2, that's even better. But as you say, you don't want to risk getting no outs if you can help it. Just missed.
And where you get tested as a manager is when you do the quote-unquote outside the box deployment. And then there's a little 7 hopper up the middle that if you're playing double play depth, your second baseman would have flipped the shortstop and you would add 2. So that's going to happen. You just have to live with it. Oh, quick feet. Yeah, quick feet, but he called the balk on him.
Casey's got one of the better moves for a right-hander.
Casey wants to know what he did. Al Gibson, the home plate umpire, was looking over at Jamie Quirk in the Cub dugout, and he lifted his front leg and was tapping his knee, saying that Casey lifted his front leg first. Kind of broke his knee and then stepped off.
Swing and a miss on a changeup for strike 3. Make sure you check out Len and JD's baseball blog at WGNTV.com. It is sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your nationwide agent, serving the area for 34 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide Insurance. It's on your side. I have a post welcoming my new partner, JD, into the mix. We have lots of photos from Mesa yesterday as well. Here's Young. He hit that 3-run homer off Baker in the first inning. Belt high strike. A breaking ball. It was way up, and Young will pop out to Baez to end the inning. So after 2, 3-1 Oakland.
Who likes Hawaiian shirts? This guy. Who likes WGN? Who likes WGN? They brought baseball to the masses. Who likes Gilligan hats? That lady. Beer is good. Who likes pink? Who likes number 12?
Back here in Phoenix, as Tommy Malone will face Christian Villanueva to start the third inning. 3-1 A's. Talk with Jamie Quirk, Cubs acting manager today. Dale Swaim's bench coach in the bottom of this inning. One strike on Villanueva. Swing and a miss on the change.
Really have to adopt, especially for the right-handed hitters, a middle-away approach when you face Malone. Got to stay back and respect that changeup. Average velocity on his fastball last year right around 88 miles an hour. He does that just enough. That cutter in to kind of force you to at least respect something hard in so he can get away with his changeup away. But ultimately, that's we've seen it here this afternoon. That's his go-to pitch in deep counts.
At the end of the bat, and Peterson has it in left.
Ticket plan for every fan. The 9 and 6 game packs offer you the chance to secure seats for the biggest games of the season with the flexibility of choosing the games you'd like to see. For more information, visit Cubs.com/packs.
Single game tickets are available as well. Cubs will kick off the home schedule on April 8th against Milwaukee. There's a bender for a strike on Alberto Gonzalez. He homered yesterday. 12:30 Central Time. Next year is here. And then the Cubs hosting the Brewers on April 8th. You're on WGN. In the first month of the Cubs schedule, it's not going to be easy. First homestand, the Cubs will see the Brewers, the Giants, and the Rangers. Foul territory. A lot of room over there, and off the glove of Moss.
After opening the season in Pittsburgh and Atlanta, the Cubs come home for that homestand that Len talked about. And then Milwaukee, Cincinnati, and Miami on the road to finish it out. So 2 road trips, just the one good long homestand against tough competition. Not an easy start to the 2013 campaign. Edwin Jackson will start that home opener for the Cubs. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah, Jeff Samardzija will get the ball twice on the first trip. Here's a 2-2. A soft liner, and it'll get over Sogard and into right center.
There's that off-field approach. Finally. Stay back. Serve it the other way. Alberto down there, he had the look of a guy who's hit into some tough luck this spring. As if he was expecting the second baseman to climb the ladder and catch that one on him.
Now back to the top, and the former Athletic De Jesus. Up and in.
David spent 1 year here, 2011. Had an off year. Hit for his typical high average. Got off to a slow start. Was banged up a little bit.
On the ground, candy hop at the end, and that's a pretty routine 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Jamie Quirk coming up from the Cubs dugout.
The patient
and JD with you, and it's great to have with us Jamie Quirk, Cubs bench coach and the acting manager this weekend. As JD mentioned yesterday, Jamie, you pushed all the right buttons.
Oh, yeah, if they hit it over the fence, we look good, don't we?
5 home runs. That was a good call. Well, a couple of weeks to go here in camp. It's been a long camp, but I think it's been a good camp.
It's been a good camp, and like you said, it's long with the Classic. You know, an extra 8 or 9 days, 39 games is an awful lot for spring training, but it gives us a chance to see, you know, Javier Baez's and Soler's and Villanueva's. So in that respect, it's very good.
And you have to be thrilled with what you've seen so far from those young kids.
Oh my, yeah, they're on the fast track. They're playing well. Obviously, the big talk is Javier Baez and Soler, and they're showing what they can do.
Cespedes gets hit by the first pitch. Corey Wade is a new pitcher, and Jamie, let's go back to the first inning. Scott Baker, pitch count got him, didn't it?
Yeah.
You weren't going to push him, did you?
He was at 25, and he got there. You know, that's all he was going to have today. And, you know, I think talking to him, he was just thrilled to get back on a major league mound. You know, it's been over a year and a half or so since he's pitched, and it's going to be a process, but there's baby steps, and that was one of them.
How did it look coming out of his hand from down there?
Fine. You know, a lot of people, you know, he's been in the American League. I've seen him pitch before, and that's his game. It's down, in and out, move it a little bit. You know, he's not a power pitcher by any means, and you know, he's a control guy and makes his pitches, and you know, he'll get there.
Brandon Moss. Swing and a miss. So Jamie, 18 years as a player, and now you're 19th as a big league coach. Did you ever have any idea when you retired as a player that you would coach longer than you played?
No, I never really thought of it that way.
I'm not trying to make you feel old, but you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. Talking to, you know, my family the other day, it's 41st year, nice throw by Welly's out. Welly's played great all spring.
Both catchers, too, huh?
Yeah.
Navarro and Castillo.
They're really throwing the ball. They're doing everything right. That was pretty right there. Great release right on the bag. But, no, I mean, this is my 41st spring training, and, you know, I signed when I was 17 years old and have done nothing since. So I love it.
It's in the blood.
It is in the blood, you know. I figure why not stay and do something you're good at? Why leave this great game and go work for a living?
And so obviously, so you've seen a ton of players come and go, and we go back to the young prospects that are here in camp, and specifically Baez. Can you draw a comparison? Do you remember anybody coming onto the scene at such a young age and doing the things that he's shown so far this spring?
You know, JD, I came up. Carlos Beltran came up with the Royals at 21 or something, and when we first saw him, you know, he was going to be special. And he's a switch hitter, obviously, but you know, Javi's got tools you just don't teach. It's God-given. He's got tremendous bat speed, and he plays the game. He's able to slow it down, and that's what you look for. A lot of kids have great abilities, but they just can't slow it down, and he has shown that he can do that.
Moss now 2 for 2. That's a double. We were talking earlier, Jamie, about versatility. The A's certainly have that. Bob Melvin employs a lot of platoons. We may see somewhat of that with Scott Hairston against lefties a lot this year. But you know, you would have fitted great on a team like the Cubs. I mean, it really seems like having versatility defensively and having a good balance of lefties and righties is important for not only Dale but the front office.
Yes, it's huge for Dale managing the game, and you know, in our league, the National League, you know, Littlebridge can play a lot of places, you know, and you got Valbuena, and he can go a lot of different places, and you got versatile outfielders that can play all three, not just a left fielder or a right fielder or center fielder, but you know, it really helps, and it helps their value. You know, you're able to insert them. You're not afraid to insert them anywhere at any time, and versatility is a great thing.
Now, you played most of your career in the American League. Only 48 games in the National League. How about that with the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, it was. I was there for 1 year, but yeah, I've coached almost my whole career in the National League, and I played my whole career in the American League.
Would you have liked interleague play when you played?
I think so. Yeah, I think I would have liked it. You know, you get to go different places that usually you don't see. And right now it's been going on so long. It's kind of there's a few things I would change. I'm a big fan of reversing the way the game is played. American League, you go to the American League, play DH. Play National League rules and vice versa, so the fans can see the other style.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jaso takes the walk. Well, let's get back to the catchers. You've worked very hard with them, as has Mike Borzello. And what's kind of the overview? The things that you talked to Welly last year about coming in your first year in the organization?
Well, he's grasped everything. He quick learner. He came in last year and had a really good spring last year, but we sent him out. He was the guy that we didn't want sitting on the bench, and he went down and played. And he's picked up the game calling and the leadership part, and he's just a totally different guy right now than he was, a year ago at this time. And Mike Borzello deserves most of that credit. And they work really hard. Our catchers have a tough camp, work really hard, and it'll show this year. And Navarro's a veteran, is helping Welly with the little things that go on that maybe you might hear in a different way than a coach tells you. It's when it comes from a teammate and another guy your position, it really helps, and it might sink in a little differently.
Well, he'll head out 2-0 from Corey Wade. Now, did you ever think of yourself, I'm a catcher? You've talked about this in the past. When certain guys convert, Josh Donaldson at the plate had to convert from catcher to third base, but when you become a full-time catcher from another position, you got to just say, I'm a catcher, right?
Yeah,
full-time commitment.
I started as an infielder and then was in low minor league short, moved over to third, played first. Then when I was converted, I considered myself an infielder who can catch, and it took me about 3 years before I went the other way, where I became a catcher who could play the infield.
It's going to get out for Donaldson. And the A's with a couple of homers today.
Arizona, it's hot and the ball's flying.
Yes, it is. Young in the first, and now Donaldson here in the third.
Yeah, having seen what I've seen the last couple of days here, I feel a little bit better about my performance in Arizona 30 years ago. It's a tough place to pitch, man.
It's a tough place to pitch, especially now that it's gotten hot. And, you see some high scores in spring training down here as compared to Florida, I believe.
Tough to evaluate, isn't it?
It is, but you don't really look sometimes at results. You look at pitches made and just the guy getting his arm ready and guys trying to stay ahead. Nice play by Sapp right there. But it is a tough place, but you can't really try to go on just results alone.
Has there been anybody, Jamie, aside from Soler and Baez, who have gotten so much attention? Has there been anybody that's really stepped up in your mind, really surprised you with their performance so far this spring?
Well, I think the staff were really impressed with Christian Villanueva, the guy we got for Ryan Dempster in the Texas organization. He can play third base right now in the big leagues. Obviously, he's got to work, and keep working on his offensive part of the game. But he's another guy. He has great confidence. He plays the game in a relaxed mode, and we think he's going to be a real good one. He kind of reminds me of Vinny Castilla, and that happens to be his hero. He's from Mexico, and he has a lot of similarities and mannerisms of Vinny.
Boy, that's a great call, Jamie. I thought the same thing. And
if he can turn a heater around like Vinny, he's going to be a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, he's only 21 years old. So, the future looks very bright with a lot of these guys, and their performance will take them as far. And they play the game, and they played the game. Baez is getting a lot of time playing because Christian's getting a lot of time playing, Soler. And that's why, as long as they're still here, we want to play them and take a look at them. And the more games they play, more games anybody plays, the better they get.
1-2 the count on Taylor. Right at Baez. Jamie, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. And you do a great job, and we appreciate all the help.
Okay, Lenny.
That's Jamie Quirk, 6-1 A's. Chicago Cubs. Time now for our BMW in-game box score. Another home run for the Cubs today, even though they trail by 5. Dave helped with that home run in the second. Be prepared for inclement weather this season with a BMW 3 Series with X-Drive all-wheel drive technology. Visit your local Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana BMW Center today to test drive one. All the runs have come via the home run. The latest, Josh Donaldson with a 3-run blast to center. Javier Baez with a single in the first inning. Thanks to Jamie Quirk for chatting with us.
That Moneyball thing's working out for the A's today. A couple of walks in advance of those home runs.
All right, we've got Andre Albert checks in on Facebook. Wants to know JD's favorite ballpark in which he pitched. Astrodome?
Astrodome, Shea Stadium was kind to me.
So bigger ballparks.
Yeah.
Most pitchers would say.
Yeah, and I was a fly ball guy. So, you know, the Dome and Shea Stadium were both very, very good for me.
I know your final career appearance was at Wrigley Field. You didn't like the wind blowing out there.
Wind blowing in, I was fine at Wrigley, but the wind blowing out, it was not pretty.
Baez strikes out.
Yeah, that was a weird day because I knew I was on a short leash anyway towards the end of my career, and I'd been called up minor leagues with the Phillies and scheduled to make a start. It was summer of '95, I guess. And boy, it was hot in the Midwest that year. It might have been 100 degrees that day in Chicago. And I knew the wind was going to be howling out, and I knew that it wasn't going to go well, and I knew they were going to release me. Probably not the best mental approach to the game, you know, to be climbing on the team bus thinking, pretty good chance your career is going to end today. Because I knew if I got released, I was like, I'm going to go hang out on the river.
Opposite field base hit for Rizzo. Well, you were right on the money.
Yeah, good scout. Wasn't much of a pitcher at the end, but I was a pretty good scout.
Now, Jim Crane checks in. I don't know which Jim Crane it is.
I'm guessing
but,
that's a fictitious Jim Crane.
Jim asks a good question. Who is your mentor or inspiration as a color analyst?
Well, I don't know that I had a mentor, but you know, obviously back when I was playing, I would pay attention to Larry Durker in Houston. Was really, really good. I enjoyed Jim Cott, still do, when Kitty's doing games. So those two stand out to me. You know, we all grew up, well, my age anyway, I grew up with the Game of the Week and Tony Kubek and Garagiola.
Some great idols to have, no doubt. One strike on Soriano. Cubs trail 6-1.
I grew up in northern New York, and I was thinking about this yesterday. When you live in places where it's cold in the wintertime, it was always exciting for that first spring training telecast. You know, we used to get WR out of New York, and when the Mets would come on, and it was Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner, and I think Bob Murphy was doing some TV back then. And they bring you spring training baseball from Florida. Man, when you're a kid, when you're 10, 11 years old, that was, and you look outside and the snowbanks are 10 feet high. And yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And we used to score the games. We used to get scorebooks out and keep score of the spring training games.
I'm sure there are a lot of 11 and 12-year-olds back in Chicago feeling the same way today. Sometimes I feel like I'm 12 years old sitting here in the booth watching a baseball game and being able to talk about it on television. Two and two on Soriano. It's Rizzo at first. Peterson will be that.
What was that line Dan Evans dropped on us the other day? He said, first said, I grew up in Chicago. He said, no, I didn't grow up. I grew older in Chicago. I never grew up. You know, we're all of us in this business. It's like Peter Pan.
Yeah, Dan Evans, Chicago native, former GM of the Dodgers, longtime White Sox employee, and now scouting for the Blue Jays, and also recently named the commissioner of the Independent Northern League. So we're really happy for Dan. I know he'll do really well. Here's Lillibridge with 2 outs. Steve Lesner on Facebook wants to know JD's favorite Chicago food.
Chicago's got a lot of good food. I'm partial to the big cuts of beef, to tell you the truth.
Okay. I suppose we can answer or ask this question again a year from today. You may
I weigh about 60 pounds more than I do now.
A tougher choice, yeah. Lillibridge would like to make his home in Chicago again. Former member of the White Sox, now with the Cubs. That's going to get down fair. And it will send Rizzo to third. A bloop double for Lillibridge. I've talked to some pitchers over the years, JD, and I don't know how you felt, but you know, when you give up a rocket into the gap and one of your outfielders was unable to run it down, you didn't feel that bad as a pitcher because you didn't make your pitch. But those bloopers can get frustrating.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, absolutely. You feel like you did everything right. You got the ball in on a guy, tied him up, induced a little weak contact, and he was able to find a hole out there. And that's, you know, when you're a high ball pitcher, when you work up in the zone and throw changeups, you get a lot of balls in the air the way Malone does, and that's just part of it. But as a percentage, balls in the air get turned into outs more so than balls on the ground, so you live with it.
It's a strike. Second and third, 2 outs. As the Cubs try to scratch their way back into this game. Struggled in this department last year. And so did the A's, according to league average. Malone has yet to go 4 full innings here in the Cactus League, trying to do that today for the first time. Led the A's with 190 innings last year. Into center and a base hit. Rizzo is in. Lillibridge right behind him. And Dave Chappelle has all 3 Cub RBIs today.
And last time up, Chappelle picked on a hanging breaking ball and hit it out of here for a solo home run. This time, with 2 runners in scoring position, he just whacks one back through the middle of the diamond to drive in 2. Good solid approach at the plate here by Chappelle. Talked about it all afternoon with Malone and that off-speed stuff. You got to stay back. You got to be willing to just serve it the other way sometimes. And Chappelle does a real nice job.
So that'll bring out Kurt Young, the pitching coach. And that'll give Castillo a chance with 2 outs.
What's your favorite Chicago food, Len?
Well, I'm a pizza guy, and so I'd have to go with the deep dish. But I'm not too picky. The Italian sausage, and a lot of great steak joints.
Yeah, so that's when we used to come from, out of town. With all the day games, it was either a steakhouse or a real good Italian restaurant with some good pasta.
Right down the middle for a strike. Eli Kincaid wants to know who your baseball idol was growing up and why. Who was your favorite?
You know, we were big Tom Seaver fans in my household. Tom, terrific.
Off the plate inside.
You know, when you're a kid, it's, when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, that's when you're kind of in that wheelhouse where you really start to follow the game. And I was like Bob Gibson guy. I was always a pitching guy, so I liked Gibson, but Seaver was the one that really captured our imaginations.
Sapelt runs, and he'll make it without a throw.
Not 69 Tom Seaver, though. I hated that Tom Seaver.
Just for the record.
I hated that guy. But a little bit later on, I really grew to like him.
Good answer.
Just to be clear.
Low and in. Now 3-1.
I first got introduced to big league baseball going to Jerry Park in Montreal, 1969.
Castillo's helmet came off.
Talked earlier about Wellington and his success against left-handed pitching in his career. He sees the ball well against lefties, but again, the 3-1 count, and he's thinking fastball, and he's way out in front of that Malone changeup. So he's shown an unwillingness so far to adjust to the changeup of Malone. A little quieter there with the approach. As a matter of fact, I remember going to, you was having a dream day for a kid, right? We went to Jerry Park, saw a doubleheader, back when they used to do doubleheaders on Sundays, and it was the Cubs, as a matter of fact. Cubs Expos double dip. And then after that, we went to the Montreal Forum and saw a Canadians exhibition game against the Flyers.
That is a good day. This going to Montreal. Don't miss the ballpark there, but such a great city, and the small amount of baseball fans they had were vociferous, and you put 25,000 people in that huge ballpark, Olympic Stadium. It could get loud.
Slamming the chairs.
Yeah.
Rallying around Yuppie.
Center field, Chris Young to end the inning. Sapelt, 3 RBIs today, trying to keep the Cubs in it. 6-3, the A's with a lead. You test your velocity?
I was going to say that was about my velocity at the end of my career right there. Secret control, though.
Location, location, location. Top of the order for the A's against Corey Wade. We only saw Scott Baker for a third of an inning in his first outing of the spring. Having an attempt, but Gonzalez can't get it. And Sogard is 3 for 3. He's trying to make the A's decision very difficult. They might not be able to keep him off the opening day roster. He is now 8 for his last 11.
Well, there does seem to be some opportunities in the middle infield for the A's. Jamal Weeks coming off a very tough year.
He's been battling a sore shoulder. Scott Sizemore struggled. Right center, Sapel. Diving catch. Not a great throw back to first, but Dave Sapel has had a day.
It's the Dave Sapel show. A little adrenaline there after making that great catch. Driven in 3 runs. He's gone deep. He wants to do it all here this afternoon. Great catch laying out. And coming up firing. No harm. No advantage gained for the base runner.
Young, who homered in the first, popped to short in the second. And he takes a strike. Corey Wade appeared in 39 games for the Yankees last year. In camp on a minor league contract, originally a Dodger. Who wants it? Gonzalez makes the catch for out number 2.
Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to www.wrigleyvillerooftops.com or call that number, 773-248-ROOF.
Cespedes, the DH. Hit by a pitch and caught stealing in the third. Recently reunited with his mother. Cespedes is from Cuba. His mom and several extended family members are now here in the States. He hadn't seen his mom in over a year. So he flew from here in Arizona to Miami for a day to greet her after she arrived in the U.S. I guess they had quite an ordeal. They had been held for several months in Turks and Caicos and held as illegal immigrants that eventually were let go. And so his mom is here, and I guess Cespedes extremely happy about that. He was very concerned about her well-being. Now his mom, Milanis, was a terrific softball pitcher, left-hander, and pitched for Cuba in the Summer Olympics in 2000. Yeah, and he claims that she could throw 80 miles an hour. And at one time, she hit him in the head with a curveball. So I guess he doesn't face his mom anymore.
Well, that'll teach him for digging in against mom.
Swing and a miss.
This whole deal about Gibson, right? He was so mean he'd knock his own mother down. Well, this is just the opposite.
Just the opposite. It is 6-3 A's. Baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Beautiful day in Phoenix. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And the A's, a couple of 3-run homers in support of lefty Tommy Malone, lead this Cactus League affair. Soft liner off the bat of Villanueva, caught by Sogard.
You know, Americans were surveyed, and they were asked if they would wear green on St. Patrick's Day or not. What do you think the percentage of people said that they would wear green was?
I would say very high.
50%.
Oh, okay.
50% said yes. 44% said no. I have no idea what. The other 6% were undecided, I guess. They made up their mind. But here at the ballpark,
it's more than
75%.
I would say so. We are wearing our blue polos. I actually don't have a green WGN one here, but in spirit.
Sounds like you're lobbying for one.
I've got some. We have a little green on our spring training credentials. So that counts. Two-1 to Gonzalez. Will it stay fair? No.
See, and Gonzalez, good smart approach here. If you recall last time, he hit that base hit over the second baseman's head into right field, so he's thinking along with Malone, well, he may try to throw that cutter in on me. I better be ready for it. And he was. Hitters come into a game obviously with a scouting report on the opposing pitcher, what their stuff is, what they like to go to in certain counts in certain situations, but then you have to make adjustments as the game moves along.
Nice throw.
Yeah, pretty play. Nakajima, the shortstop, was in position to make a play too, but I don't know if he would have had time if it got all the way back to him in short left field. So Donaldson cuts it off. The third baseman are told that if you can get it, go for it.
Two quick outs, and it's DeJesus. Have noticed the A's caps, their spring training caps, are not what they'll wear in the regular season. They have A's on the caps. They've got their secondary logo on the caps, and that is an elephant on top of a baseball. And the elephant off and on has been a part of their logo going way back. And according to the A's media guide, Giants manager John McGraw dismissed the A's with contempt by calling them the White Elephants when the American League was formed in 1901, implying Connie Mack should not be allowed to spend money without supervision. So Mack defiantly adopted the White Elephant as the team logo, and the A's won their first American League pennant in 1902. Well, they weren't in Oakland then. They were in Philadelphia. Now, when Charlie Finley bought the team, he replaced the elephant with a mule. But the A's,
because he was stubborn.
He was stubborn, yes. And the A's eventually brought back the elephant. So that's why you see that logo. That's going to drop. Like Chris Young was waiting to see what Taylor was going to do, and neither guy made the play. So kind of a gift base hit for DeJesus. You could see, so just said wow to Brian Harper.
Yeah, good things happen when you put the ball in play, and DeJesus puts the ball in play a whole lot. Soft fly ball into shallow right center field. Young in pursuit, as was Taylor, but neither one really committed to making that play.
Because Charlie Finley used to trot the mule out during the World Series, right? Back in the 70s.
Right.
Maybe he just couldn't get his hands on an elephant back in the day.
Charlie O is the name of the mule.
I didn't know that story about the white elephant. It was an anti-Connie Mack thing.
Yeah.
Owner-manager.
Baez with an inside-out swing. Fair into the right field corner. DeJesus hustling around third. He's going to score, and Baez has an RBI double. And now within 2.
All the impressive swings he has taken this spring. This one will stand out as well. The willingness to hit the ball the other way. So a little blooper and then a solid double into the corner, and the Cubs score a 2-out run.
And that's it for the starter, Malone. So he'll leave with 2 outs here in the 5th. And we'll be right back. Left-hander Hideki Okajima, non-roster invitee, in to face Anthony Rizzo. And fastball for a strike. I asked Anthony Rizzo earlier about the World Baseball Classic with Team Italy.
A lot of fun. We had a great time, had a great group of guys, and we had a good run.
Now, there weren't many expectations for Team Italy. Is that what made it even more fun, is that you kind of did a lot more than the pundits thought you would, and you had a lead, I think, in every game in the tournament?
Yeah, I think that's what was the joy of it, is that we weren't expected to be good, and we played as a team, and we played as one, and we won some ball games, and we advanced, and we had a great time doing it.
So you get back here with the Cubs. What do you take from that experience, being able to play in pressure-packed games in the month of March?
Just to slow the game down and not try to do too much, like I always say, and just have fun. It was a great experience and something I'll always look back on and remember.
Now, what have you worked on this spring training? Anything in particular at the plate or defensively, or is it just literally getting ready physically and mentally for opening day?
Just getting ready physically and mentally to see all the pitches again, to see the breaking balls, all the different breaking balls, and the different pitchers is good to see, and it's fun to see all those pitches that you haven't seen a lot yet, because they surprise you a little bit, and we're 2 weeks away.
Now, how was your offseason, kind of knowing coming in that you were going to be the everyday first baseman this year? This is the first time you've been in this situation.
It was normal. I think I worked a little harder, probably. Just wanted to come in the best shape possible, and very hungry to get the year going, and can't wait to just April 1st in Pittsburgh.
All right, That's Anthony Rizzo, 6-4 A's in the 5th.
Friday, 4 East, 1 West on WGN America.
Here's Rafael Dolis, sinker baller. For a brief time last year was the Cubs closer. He saved 4 games and 6 chances. He's just got to throw more strikes.
Yeah, the line there just above the whip at the bottom, the walk to strikeout ratio, 23 walks, 24 strikeouts, just not going to get it done. He's got a big arm. He certainly has the stuff to pitch at the big league level. Just about commanding that stuff.
Here's the 1-0 to Moss. Late swing, 1-1. At least with 1 strikeout so far this spring in 5 appearances, 3 walks. They all came in 1 outing. That was against Arizona.
Moss, big, strong left-handed hitter, with hits out of that open stance, likes to pull the ball. He's got a lot of pop. At least could throw that good power sinker down and away. There's not a whole lot Moss could do with it unless he were willing to shoot it the other way, but that's not his game.
The other Cubs split squad trailing Texas in Las Vegas 3-0 in the 5th. Carlos Villanueva went 4 innings, gave up 3 runs. Three and 2. We're going to see a lot of Cub pitchers in this one. After the starter, Baker, could only get 1 out before he reached his pitch count.
Well, if Fergie Jenkins is still here, we might be able to get an inning out of him.
I'll tell you, Fergie probably could get some people out. Yeah, but then the A's may use Raleigh fingers. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
I think you're onto something. The Chicago Cubs summer baseball camps offer children ages 5 to 13 of all abilities the ultimate major league experience. 7 one-week sessions in various Chicago area locations. Join fellow teammates for a week of top-notch baseball instruction, exclusive access, and unforgettable moments. Visit Cubs.com/camps to sign your future Cub up today. And there's one right there. Look at that guy. kidding me? He's a player.
A lot of energy, ready to go.
Couple snow cones, 3 cotton candies later. He's good for extra innings.
Brian Henry checks in on Facebook. JD, if you had to, could you get out one guy? So we need a color guy / loogie. Lefty one out guy.
Yeah, you need that loogie. I'm going to go with no on that one.
Two and one. So the Astros never recruited you as a left-handed batting practice pitcher over the years?
I never did. When Gar was managing, Phil Garner was managing, there was one year where we talked about it.
Towering fly ball. Lillibridge battling the sun. And he's got it right up against the barrier. Jaso just missed one.
A tough sky today. A cloud in the sky, and Lillibridge with the shades on, peering up into it. It was a nice job.
And Phil Garner is now with the A's.
He is a consultant, good buddies with the manager Bob Melvin. Melvin was on Gar's staff when he managed in Detroit. And he asked Phil to come on. And so Phil spends spring training with the A's, and then he'll do some other work for them during the summer months. Maybe a little advanced scouting. But no, I didn't. Our job is so demanding. The idea of going and throw batting practice before doing our games, just couldn't squeeze it in.
Off the handle that time for Donaldson, and Chappelle simply overran it. I'm not sure he saw the ball. He went sliding through and maybe overslid that pop fly.
And Chappelle with a burst of speed here at the end, leaves his feet, maybe peeks a little bit at Gonzalez to make sure he doesn't take a knee in the forehead, and you can hardly blame him, especially in spring training. Live to fight another day, but maybe a little bit of sun, a little bit fearful of a knee in the forehead. That will go as a base hit.
And we'll get a pinch runner for Donaldson. So fun starts.
Do you think our viewers know what a loogie is? Because sometimes that might be worth explaining.
Yeah, we can. Adam Rosales is the runner, by the way, the Chicago native. And he's going to head down to second. Now go ahead.
Left-handed, one-out only guy. So the lefty specialist coming out of the bullpen. That's the acronym loogie. Because you start throwing loogie around on the air, people aren't sure what you're talking about. You want to make sure you explain that. No, and I never, we've talked about it. I was like Malone. I was more of a change-up guy. And, to be that loogie, you really want to have a good breaking ball to neutralize the dangerous left-handed hitters.
Mike Myers, Randy Choate, things like that.
Right, and typically those guys aren't well suited for getting right-handed hitters out. That's why they're just the lefty specialists. Trevor Miller, pitching the big leagues for a long time. Boy, if you get that arm angle, work from a little low three-quarter sidearm action, you can survive in this game a good long while, the way bullpens are constituted now.
Randy Choate tied for the major league lead last year with 80 appearances. How many innings? 38 and 2/3. Yeah. So he averaged under 2 outs per game.
It's good work if you can get it.
Well, I think he got a 3-year deal with the Cardinals out of it.
You have to be successful a very high percentage of the time to make that work.
I got a 3-year deal worth $7.5 million. Well, it is good work if you can get it. However, like a field goal kicker, when you do face lefties, you got to get them out. Or you won't be in that job very long. Broken bat. Going to be a tough play. Nicely done by Villanueva to end the inning. 6.
Here come the Braves.
Ford Cubs upcoming TV schedule. We're back on the Angels on Saturday. The opening day game at Pittsburgh on April 1st. Ford, go further in any one of Ford's many fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup. Ford store or at localfordstore.com. With a base hit, 1 for 3. To have with us Bruce Miles, writer for the Daily Herald. Bruce, nice to see you. And this is an interesting week. We've got some coming up probably tomorrow. You had the big day for Baez yesterday, and now the opening day roster starting to take shape. Ian Stewart starting to look real iffy, isn't it?
Yeah, Dale Schramm is up in Las Vegas, and they're going to send Ian Stewart for an MRI tomorrow on that pesky quadriceps injury, and it's going to be very tough for him to get the at-bats to be ready for the April 1 opener in Pittsburgh.
Okajima still in there for the A's against Brent Lillibridge. Scott Baker making his Cactus League debut today. It was a short one. The pitch count got him after only 1 out. Did you get a chance to talk to Scott?
Yeah, we did. He said, you know, the results are one thing, but when he was just happy to be out there pitching in front of fans again in a big league game, and he was able to throw all of his pitches, which I think is a big thing. And JD, you would know this coming back from an injury like Tommy John surgery. He felt confident throwing all the pitches, including the breaking stuff.
Yeah, ideally, you know, you want to be able to go out there, use all your pitches, and then, you know, a day or two later, you're out doing a side session, the ball leaves your hand cleanly, everything feels good. Then it gives you a sense of confidence going forward that you at least cleared that first hurdle.
Leg kick by Okajima, and a fly ball to right that's going to twist out of play. What are your early impressions of Baez and Soler?
Well, I'm glad I got down here to see them. Baez looks hitterish, as they say. Everybody's throwing around the Gary Sheffield stuff with bat speed and everything, but I like the opposite field hit the last inning or two ago when you know, he could have looked to yank one, but a confident hitter with a lot of bat speed. He'll go down to Daytona, no doubt, and play down there, but there's certainly a lot of excitement. It gets people talking at this stage of spring training.
That ball's crushed, and the Cubs have tied it. Brent Lillibridge just put his head down and started running. He knew right off the bat that was going to go. And the Cubs now have hit 7 homers here in Arizona the last 2 days. He's an intriguing super utility guy, too.
He can play all over the place, and he was helped too by a little bit of an injury, so it's important for him. But he's a guy that you can put infield or outfield, and they're going to take a real close look at him.
Now, this is not a big part of his game, but he got every bit of that one.
With a double-decker sign.
Let's go, you guys. That way. That's a Sucio.
Dave Sapelt, who had knocked in all the Cubs runs going into the 5th inning, at least, takes ball 1. Sapelt right now a bubble guy. And I think, Bruce, one of the questions, Tony Campana gets traded to Arizona. Dave Sapelt was probably the 2nd fastest guy on the team. So if you feel like you need a stolen base late, that could give him a bit of an edge over some of the other guys on that bubble for the last spot.
Right, in the outfield and in the infield with the third base situation, you've got a guy, Steve Clevenger, who has been a catcher, but he was drafted as an infielder. He's taken some reps at first base and third base, so the bench situation is going to be one of the fun ones to watch, and who does what over the final 2 weeks here.
I think, JD, most managers ideally would love to have 3 catchers and have that third guy be a guy who can play the infield. That way, if you want to pinch run or pinch hit for somebody early, you're not caught late with no backup catcher.
And you don't want to sacrifice a legitimate bat to make that happen. You don't want to take a third catcher just to be able to pinch hit for your everyday guy, but have that guy that's coming off the bench not really be able to do a whole lot for you other than catch. So the fact that a guy can play third base, give you a competent AB off the bench, play a little first base, even try out to the left field, something, Jamie Quirk type player back in the day. I'd love to have those kinds of players. And the other thing too you have to consider, in spring training, guys get a lot of at-bats, even the bench guys. So you have to know who's capable of now becoming a guy that gets a couple at-bats a week maybe and still give you a good AB. Because a lot of guys, AAA type players, 4A players, you give them a bunch of at-bats in spring training and they'll show you something, but then ask them to be a major league bench player and you're not getting the same guy.
Harder for younger players to do that too, Jimmy.
It really is.
Castillo's had a real tough time with the changeups today. Malone and Okajima here now in the 6th. Cubs have tied at 6-6. Just talk overview, Bruce, being around this organization. Their 2nd spring training together. Have you seen noticeable differences in terms of how spring training is run?
Yeah, I think it's crisp and clean. I think every day you come here and there's a purpose to everything, and not that there wasn't before, but you can see it. You can see that there's a purpose. We're doing these drills for these reasons. Dave McKay out there with the fly ball machine. Always interesting to watch that. You saw the results with Alfonso Soriano last year, but I just think that with everything, even if you lose some games, you know that there's some reason behind what they're doing and they're looking for the long term.
2-2 on Castillo. By the way, Dave McKay is here, not coaching first today. We saw Brian Harper, who's the Iowa hitting coach, and Marty Peavy, who will manage the I-Cubs, is over at 3rd.
Real good instructor.
Just missed inside. The other thing, Bruce, all the terminology, the instruction on strategy, shifting, everything you see at the big league level is being taught at every single level of the Cubs chain.
Part of the Cubs way that they talked about and introduced last year, and it's taken some time to implement, as it will.
Hang time on this fly, and it's caught by Peterson. 2 outs.
But you want a guy when he comes up from the minor leagues to know right away how plays are made, cutoffs, whatever it might be, so that you don't have to go through it again. So it's done at the same way from Mesa and rookie ball all the way up the line.
Give us your grade or assessment of Dale Swain.
Oh, I think it's very good. Last year 101 losses. The clubhouse never once came close to imploding. There was a good attitude in there every day. You had some good veterans like DeJesus keeping things in line, Soriano. But I think that he never let things get away from him at all. Had a steady hand on the helm at all times, and I think deserves high marks for the performance last year despite the record.
One of the advantages, and advantages might not be the right word, but when you go through a year like that and you're down and rebuilding, it's a chance to create a culture on a team. So if you have everybody in alignment, from ownership to the general manager down to the manager, if they all are on the same page, thinking the same way, the types of people you want to bring in, the way you want the game played, that's the time to do it. Because there are times in the course of time with an organization where you're on the cusp, and maybe you put up with some nonsense, or you let a guy get away with something because he's got a chance to make you better that year. And when you're coming off 101 losses, just
this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Nice play by Rosales. Bruce Miles with us. Can you hang for a couple?
I'd be delighted.
6-6. The Cubs have tied it.
Monday.
Follow the Cubs this spring and all season long with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Android devices. At bat delivers spring training wherever you are. Scores, stats, searchable video, live audio, and more. Way more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. Everything.
There's Jorge Soler playing right. We'll move Sapelt to center. Jaehoon Haas now in left, and Rafael Lopez at first as Dolis still working. Big day for Sapelt. Cubs have tied it. Here with Bruce Miles from the Daily Herald. Let's talk about your job these days. With Twitter, everything is immediate. Before, you'd have a little more time to kind of come up with big fancy words to write a story for the next day, which you still have time to do, but you got to get that first one out pretty quickly, don't you, Bruce?
Yeah, I was never good at big fancy words.
It's caught on the back pedal by Baez.
Got to keep it to 140 characters. But it really is. Something happens, somebody gets traded, somebody gets hurt. You got to press the button right away, and then you follow up, hopefully the next day with some more analysis, with some quotes, with your own take on things. I don't know. In a lot of ways, it's made the job more fun. It used to be, you know, you'd come and you write your story in your notebook, and you'd sit and relax, and it would come out the next day. Now everybody wants to know right now, and I don't know. I kind of thrive on it. I like it.
Well, and you're a real open-minded guy, and you like when people bring either counterintuitive things to the table or things you haven't thought about, and being on the internet every day and being accessible to smart baseball fans, I do think is an advantage too. You and I share stuff all the time. Hey, did you see that on this website?
Absolutely, and you see fans listening to you guys on TV who will point out something that Len and JD said. Look into that, and we certainly will. But it's nice to talk with the fans live during a game where they can ask you things, what's happening during the game, well, what happened to this guy, when is he coming back, and so forth and so on. But I think the overall thing is good, and you can't fight it. It's here, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to try to go with it.
If you don't adapt, you die, right?
Oh, you're gone. Yeah.
Well, and fans are very good. I mean, there are times where you're doing a game and you got the monitor in front of you, and maybe you're looking at a computer and you're keeping your scorebook and you're doing stuff up here, and every now and then you'll catch something that a fan saw during the game that you didn't see. It's like golf. Out here, the women are playing out here, and Stacey Lewis got penalized 2 strokes yesterday because a fan saw something on television, called it in. She got busted.
There are no secrets.
Strokes. Oh, yeah, the camera pans on somebody in the dugout saying something, and instantaneous feedback.
And then Paul Sullivan runs into our booth. What happened? My Twitter's blowing up.
Well, Pal Sully, he's off for a few days. It's St. Patty's Day, too, so I'm a little worried about him today.
3-2 on Eric Sogard. I want to ask you about your Hall of Fame ballot, because this was one of the most fascinating, in some ways head-scratching years in the history of the Hall. Sapelt going back, still back, over his head, and Sogard is 4 for 4. That's a double. Did you spend a little extra time doing some soul searching on how you were going to do it?
I spent a lot of time on that Hall of Fame ballot, which I thought was a good thing. There were some people that said, I don't want any part of this, or they shied away from it. It's another duty that you have, and one of the perks of this job of being a long-time baseball writer, you get to do this after you've been doing it 10 years. And yeah, I spent a lot of time going over not only guys like Jack Morris, who have caused a lot of controversy and still get talked about, but the guys from the so-called steroid era as well. All of that played into it. And I think I had 9 guys on my ballot this year.
One issue that I think is becoming a problem, I don't know if you guys agree, I think there's such a log jam of clear Hall of Fame caliber players who are not getting in for other reasons. Whether those are legitimate or not, we don't have to debate that. But what it's doing is it's keeping bubble guys, or guys who are probably not Hall of Famers, they don't even get on the ballot again. And I bring up Kenny Lofton and Bernie Williams. Neither got 5%, if I'm not mistaken. So they're not even on the ballot next year.
No, it's going to be tougher when you have Maddox and Glavine and these guys, some of the other guys like Alan Trammell, who've gotten a good amount of votes. People might bump him off for that very reason, and all these other reasons together. Yeah, it's going to get more difficult.
Daylight. Yeah, I'm really surprised at Kenny Lofton, especially in the era in which we live with the advanced analysis. So that we take a good look at the numbers in his career, the on base. He had legitimate pop, the stolen bases, the
postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but he
should be on the ballot for
he probably
10,
deserves
15 years.
Probably more of a look than people realize.
It was a real difference maker, and with the Cubs in 2003, they might not have gotten to the playoffs without him.
So, and do you have an overriding philosophy in terms of the steroid era as to whether you would just anybody that's implicated you're not going to consider, or do you try to play the game what if he had been, how do you do that?
Well, right now, and I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'm hearkening back to the old Rolling Stone song, Time is on my side. I want to hear more information about the Sosas and from the Sosas and the McGuires and the Bonzes and the Clemens and these people. So I've not voted for them yet. That doesn't mean I won't someday, but I want to hear more. And we do have time on our side for that. And it looks like we're getting a mound visit here.
And unfortunately, one of the Cubs athletic trainers, Ed Halber, along with Lester Strode, are going to check on Rafael Dolis, and it looks like maybe a blister or something on that pitching hand.
Jason Birkin warming up in the Cub bullpen just in case, and it's not going to be just in case. It's going to be time to go to work.
So he'll come in with a 3-0 count, a tie game in the 6th. We'll be back. Here's right-hander Jason Birkin, acquired on waivers from the Orioles last year, and finished the season in the Cubs rotation. And they're going to face Shane Peterson in a 6-6 tie. Also a 3-0 count. Police had to leave, possibly with a blister issue. They were looking at that pitching hand, and a strike call. 3-1. We're with Bruce Miles from the Daily Herald. Now, you didn't vote for JD, did you?
No, but I thought about it.
Only got one vote.
Think long and hard.
What year was that, JD?
I don't remember.
Maybe 2000?
2000-ish. Yeah, something like that.
I didn't have a ballot then.
Good. Oh, that's the perfect excuse. Full count on Peterson. Sogard representing the go-ahead run. The A's led 6-1 at one point. Cubs have come back to tie it. And there is ball 4. I'm not going to ask you to predict the Cubs record. On paper, this rotation should be better. I kind of come back to, can this team score enough runs, although you'll have Anthony Rizzo for 6 instead of 4 months.
Yeah, that's the thing. The rotation should be better given health. We don't know how long Matt Garza is going to be. We don't know how long Scott Baker is going to be. So health is always the X factor there. But you would think that they could score some more runs. It was a problem. Why you'd want to see them get the on base percentage, the walks up. Those two areas once again really came back to hurt the Cubs last year. And if you remember their 2008 season, led the league in runs scored, walks, OBP. Important stuff.
Jae-Hoon Ha in left now for route number 2.
It'll be fun to see the progression that Starlin Castro makes at the plate. As Dale Swaim always talks about the number of professional and major league at-bats a young player needs to really start to get it. He and Darwin Barney both. But you want to see some progression there if you're a Cubs front office guy.
Here's Scott Sizemore batting in the DH spot. It's not been a great spring for Sizemore, but better than last year. He was looking to be the opening day third baseman and tore his ACL in their first full squad workout, missed the entire year. JD, you talked about your spring with the A's. That's a bad spring. You blow out your ACL in the first full
day.
squad.
You work out all winter long to get ready. You come in enthused, pumped up for a new season, and you blow it out like that, and you're done. Speaking of which, Art Teixeira may be in worse shape than everybody thought. I'm talking about a torn sheath in the tendon in his wrist. And the last thing I saw, there's a chance he might be out for the year.
Oh, they're scrambling to find somebody for first base, too. When you see the names a couple of weeks back of Derek Lee and Chipper Jones mentioned, and you were talking about the New York Yankees here.
Yeah. Well, Derek has, as far as I know, not officially announced his retirement, but it sure sounds like it.
After not playing last year, but I guess there were some talks and there was some intrigue involved, but nothing happening.
Bruce, thanks for the time. Appreciate you stopping by as always,
guys.
Time now to check out our Budweiser fan cam. The outfield with My Paradise Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. A 6-6 tie as we get into the seventh inning.
Well, the A's played a 13-13 ball game yesterday. You got nothing better to do. Hang out, watch a little hardball.
That's right. This is Sean Doolittle, the new A's pitcher. A converted first baseman. He began pitching 2 years ago. One rookie league appearance after recovering from knee problems, which cost him almost 2 seasons. He was in the major leagues following that first full season, or in his first full season on the mound. Clubbed out into the gap. Gonzalez hustling, and he is in standing. Cubs have the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out.
Gonzalez 2 out of 3 now today. Picked on a high fastball, looked like, from Doolittle. A hard thrower. The former first baseman can rush it up there in the high 90s. That thing is logo high. We don't have a gun, but if that's 96 up there and he's able to get on top of it, that's an impressive swing of the bat. Doolittle 2-1 with a 3.04 last year. Very good strikeout numbers. 60 punch outs in 47 in the third innings of work.
What a find he's been. The Cubs trying to push across that go-ahead run. There's a better than 50-50 chance based on last year that that'll happen. Jamiah Weeks with a nice play on a one-hopper, and he gets to Jesus. However, Gonzalez is at third with one out.
That's why you love to have a guy like DeJesus up there in that situation. Such good bat control. A situation where it would not have been a bad play to put a bunt down in the late innings of a tie game to advance that base runner. But if you got a guy that can handle the bat, pull the ball with some authority, he's got a chance to drive that run in. And if somebody makes a play on him, at least he moves the batter or the runner along. And so now runner on third, one out. And 63% of the time last year, the Cubs were able to cash in.
And the A's will bring their infielders in. I'll tell you, I would not want to be on that left side with Javier Baez at the plate, playing 80 feet where he's swinging.
So when you look at the dugout and they move you in and you kind of cock your head, you go, you sure? You sure you don't want it halfway here maybe? What do you think, Skip?
It's Rosales, the third baseman, Perino, the shortstop. Weeks and Scott Moore over on the other side. 1-1.
Usually in this situation, you're thinking about getting the ball elevated, so you want to attack that ball up a little bit if you can get to it. Try to keep the hands in, think middle away. You're more likely to elevate the ball with that approach. The last thing you want to do is roll over and hit a ground ball to the shortstop in this situation. Well, the last thing you want to do is punch out. So now you got to be willing to shorten the stroke a little bit.
He went up the ladder and Baez went after it. 2 down.
It's a little greedy. So many good things happening to him here this spring. Had a chance to drive in that go-ahead run. He just got a little too greedy and expanded his zone. And this is what we were talking about with Theo during the ball game yesterday. Selective aggressiveness. Nothing wrong with taking a big swing, but make sure you're swinging at strikes.
So it's up to Rafael Lopez. Tough at bat here for lefty. It's his hard-throwing southpaw. Rizzo today went 1 for 3 with a run. Weeks will charge. Doolittle gets out of it. Stretch time here in Phoenix. Cubs and A's knotted up at 6. Cubs with a chance in the top of this 7th inning. They had a runner at second with nobody out. Could not push across the go-ahead run. Here's former Cub Scott Moore against Jason Birkin. Cubs have confirmed it was a finger blister for Rafael Dolis. You ever deal with blisters?
I did not. I was lucky. I didn't have any issues with that at all.
Kerry Wood dealt with it for a long time. Josh Beckett.
Well, a lot of times it's the guys with the real sharp curveballs that really pull hard on the seams and get a lot of friction. I didn't do that. Nolan Ryan used to have blister problems. He had that good yacker.
One and two the count. You would have seen Scott Moore last year in Houston. Got a little pop. He's a former first-round pick of the Tigers in 2002.
Oh, he's got a nice swing. He's never really been able to establish himself at the big league level. He's had a cup of coffee here, a cup of coffee there.
Called strike 3. And a comeback sinker from Birkin. It's time to play ball. Get to Wrigley Field this season to see the Chicago Cubs in action. Single game tickets are available for the 2013 season, so get your tickets now for the season's hottest games. To purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Andy Perino out in the deep left center. Ha can't get it. And it's a double for Andy Perino.
Over from minor league camp, trying to make a play out there in left center field. Sells out, leaves his feet. Just can't quite corral it. Kind of ugly the way he rolled over on his wrist.
So the product of Lemoyne College.
It's my alma mater,
with a double. Andy Perino. Tom Browning, right?
Yeah. The Dolphins. Syracuse, New York. Go figure.
The Dolphins?
The Dolphins, yep.
Okay. Is there a Connie Mack reference here? I mean, you've got the elephant. A's with the elephant.
No, actually,
the Dolphins.
It's a Jesuit school. I think it's a religious thing.
Okay.
Like dolphin symbolism behind it.
Foul.
The Cubs some years ago actually drafted a kid #1 out of Lemoyne College, a pitcher. His name escapes me now. I don't believe he ever made it to the big leagues.
Another one well hit. And gone. A 2-run homer for Adam Rosales. He is a Chicago native. At the Maine South High School in Park Ridge. And he gives the A's an 8-6 lead.
All jumping out of here this afternoon. Rosales gets out in front of that one. There wasn't much doubt.
David Freitas now catching. Nice play. Villanueva to get him.
was Vinny Castilla-like.
Yeah, that was a good call by Jamie Quirk, the Cubs' young third baseman. Jemile Weeks, the younger brother of the Brewers' Ricky Weeks. He's a switch hitter. Ball one. Had a really good year 2 years ago. Hit .303 as a rookie last year. Had the worst OPS in the major leagues, .609.
Brother had a tough year too.
He did. He was okay late, but got buried early on. He was under 200, I think, in the middle of the season last year, Ricky Weeks.
We were talking earlier about Sizemore and his injury. How about Matt Gamble again this year? Back-to-back years. Down for the count.
Corey Hart had another knee operation. So first base, an issue for the Brewers. We'll see them coming up on Friday. I know Alex Gonzalez has been playing over there, a long-time shortstop.
Look out, Gar.
We'll do another 3-2. This will get out of play.
Phil Scrap Iron Garner came up with the Oakland A's and then moved on to Pittsburgh. He's a World Series hero there. He was part of that We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirate World Series winning club. A long-time successful manager after a very good playing career.
Weeks is aboard. Now Lester Strode out to the mound.
Big right-hander warming up down in the Cub bullpen. Kids from minor league camp. Jensen Lewis. He's here as a non-roster invitee.
Michael Choice will step in. What a day for Eric Sogard, who went 4 for 4 for the A's. Rosales with a 2-run homer. The A's with another lead. Birkin trying to get out of this 7th inning. Ken Crafton checks in on Facebook. JD, when are you scheduled to sing the 7th inning stretch?
2014, I believe, is what we're talking. We're in negotiations right now.
Negotiations are underway.
It's ongoing.
Well, I will, without any sort of first-hand knowledge, I will guess first homestand, maybe even the first series. I think the key is just to do it.
You think so?
Yeah. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. You just got to do it. You're trying to get it, so we sing together first, but I think it should be you first.
I think just a group effort would be nice. Put a little choir together. We'll bring Pat and Keith over, and let's do a quartet.
Back near the track, and he makes the catch, and the inning is finally over. Rosales with a home run. It's now 8-6 Oakland. Chicago Cubs baseball has been brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford. Go further in any one of Ford's many fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. I believe that's Papago Park. It is really a beautiful area here in Phoenix. It's a natural rooftop setting, I suppose.
How about that? Yeah.
8-6. The A's with a lead late. Mike Ekstrom, the new pitcher, and flies to center. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Ekstrom through 6 games this spring, 0-1 with a 2.08 ERA. He's a guy that's bounced around a handful of organizations. He's seen big league time with the Padres, the Rays, and a little bit with the Rockies last year. Do you think they can see the game from out there, Len? Probably need a telescope or something.
That would be tough.
They seem to be looking in this direction.
They don't really look like they're paying attention.
Get out of the heat.
Soler with a hard hit, 1 hopper, and lots of time for Weeks to throw him out. So Pelt is 2 for 3 with a homer. A stolen base, 3 RBIs.
He has been the man of the match for the Cubs here this afternoon. A couple nice plays in the outfield as well.
I want to give a shout out to Joey and Jacob Tyderek from Grandpa Tony at the ballpark. Pelt pops it up. The quickest 1, 2, 3 innings we've seen. Still, A's lead by
on rules of
got a nice delivery.
This WGN broadcast will be this Friday. Cubs and Brewers from West Phoenix.
There's a little work on the windup. The hands over the head. But the arm action is outstanding.
Hands were coming apart there late, but
Fazio to get with her. He'll break the hands a little quicker.
Here's Jensen Lewis. As JD mentioned, a non-roster invitee, and ball one outside on Shane Peterson. He's now playing right.
Came up with the Cleveland Indians, and then 2007 through 2010 kind of yo-yoed between the minor leagues and their big league club. He has not pitched in the big leagues since 2010. Last year he was at AAA with the Diamondbacks in Reno all season.
Three and 0.
So far pretty solid this spring.
Strike. Mentioned the Cubs will play the A's in the regular season in Oakland. It'll be the Cubs' first trip ever to Oakland. It's the final current American League team. Let's see, Cubs have played on the road for the first time. They've been at every other American League ballpark except for the Coliseum, and that'll change this year. Leadoff walk.
It seemed a while back that like there was some momentum for the A's to move, but I haven't heard much lately.
They want to move to San Jose, but that's in Giants territory, which creates all kinds of political issues. Darwin Perez takes ball one. Missed it earlier. Scott Baker faced 6 batters in the opening inning. He only retired 1. Chris Young with a 3-run homer. Baker in his first appearance getting just 25 pitches coming back from Tommy John surgery. It's Micah Gibbs now catching. Now to talk it over with Lewis.
I just got a note that Katie Howell says that it's called the Rock out there. I mean, they had the shot of, and you can see the game from there.
Okay, very nice.
Hole in the Rock.
Hole in the Rock.
Yeah, the Rock is Alcatraz, right? So this is the Hole in the Rock. And if there's baseball fans up there, they're probably second guessing the umpire. You got to be kidding me. That's not a ball.
See if they can turn it here. Moda. And the relay by Baez pulls Lopez off the bag. Jonathan Moda now playing second.
Baez opting for the bare hand there. And the flip from Moda. Not sure he had to. The timing of that double play was a little bit out of sync. He's wary of that barehanded play out there. There are times when the throw is in such a place that you have to barehand it, but when you have the option to use the glove, even if in so doing you're not able to complete the double play, the risk of mishandling and then giving up that free base at second, opening up the potential for a big inning, is the issue.
One of the things for a 20-year-old phenom who's been able to do it all, really his entire amateur career, and now into his pro career, he's going to try to do things other guys can't do. And so, you know, I guess reining him in, and he'll realize as time goes on what the play is to make. Runner goes. Gibbs throw. Not in time.
Yeah, and I guess my point is that if you've got a manager who's saying that we're going to deploy our infield in such a way that we're de-emphasizing double plays to make sure we get an out, so therefore, you know, the same thing should apply on force plays and things of that nature. Now, you know, sometimes your baseball clock takes over, and the ground ball, the second baseman has an extra hop in it, or he maybe doesn't get on it quickly enough where you get the sense the only way we're going to get to is to barehand it and go, and you know, your instincts just take over. But that's a play where, even if it's made, sometimes the manager after the fact will say, oh, you know, you made the play, but you know, given the situation, we want to make sure we get out. We can't afford to mishandle there. So much of this game is about preventing giving up the big inning.
And Dale has talked about that a lot.
Yeah, late in a tight game, yeah, sometimes you take a chance. Omar Vizquel is the guy that comes to mind when you think about the barehanded plays at shortstop. What a magician.
Will have to chase this one down. The A's will get an extra run as Perez scores in the Scott Sizemore double. And it's 9-6.
Mid-game replacement. He's done more running today than I've done all month. Running all over the place out there.
Now, just for the record, if he ran to his position to start the inning, would that still qualify as more running than you've done last month?
That is accurate.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Ball 1-more. Hitter's day today. Warm temperatures, no humidity, wind blowing out. And the A's have connected for 3 home runs. Cubs have hit 2.
I'll tell you what, the other significant advantage that the hitters have in spring training is that pitchers, for the most part, aren't inclined to drill you or really throw one up under your chin in a spring training game. So the comfort level is a little better for the hitters in the exhibition season than it is in the regular season.
Another long run for Ha. JD's worn out just watching.
Yeah, he's earning that big league meal money he's getting today over from minor league camp.
Here's the pitch. This time it's Villanueva racing over.
Jae-hoon Ha. Jae-hoon Ha from South Korea. Hit 273 last year at AA. Played in the Futures game.
Comes Lewis on a 2-2 and a fly to center. It's caught by Sapelt. Got a note from Brennan McKim. JD, did you ever get ejected as a player, and is there video of it?
I never did get ejected as a major league player. Got ejected from a college summer league game once in the Shenandoah Valley. Hanging out in the bullpen. Things weren't going my way. I was having a tough go. Had a little elbow problem. Very frustrated. Started yelling at the umpire over something and got ejected. But not, as a professional, never did. Probably didn't hit enough guys, right? I mean, should have pitched inside a little more.
But an automatic. There's the 0-1 to Perino outside, 1-1. Remember how many different uniform numbers you wore in the big league? Jeff Benson asks that question. I think I can find that.
Yeah. It's 43 in Houston, San Diego, San Francisco. When I came up with the Yankees, I think they gave me 66 or 67.
66, according to Baseball Reference.
I think I was 67 in spring training, and then when I was called up, I worked my way down to 66. So I had really opened up some eyes in the Yankee organization.
So 43, 38, 30 with the Giants, according to Baseball Reference, and then 44 with the Twins and Phillies. Yeah.
It's not a good pitcher's number, 44. When you think of 44, you think sluggers, right? Reggie Jackson,
Hank Aaron wore 44, right?
When you first get called up, you give me 105, whatever. I'm good. When I first got called up to the Yankees in 1984, I pitched the first game of a doubleheader against the White Sox. And this was old school when even the clubby would look down on rookies. And I kept asking the clubhouse guy, Nick Priori, for a uniform for the second game so I could go sit in the dugout. And yeah, kid, I'll get you. And, after about 3 of those, I just stopped asking. I'm in the clubhouse like in the third inning, and I still have a uniform.
A's will get another run. Throw way off line. That's 10-6. Continue on.
So anyway, I ended up putting on my street clothes and going out and hanging out in the camera well beyond the Yankee dugout to watch the second game of the doubleheader after my major league debut. So you have all this hype, you're all excited to be there. Man, I'm in the big leagues. This is great. And the next thing you know, I can't even get a uniform from the clubby for game 2.
So that'll be it for Jensen Lewis here in the 8th inning. 10-6 A's, and we'll be right back.
On How I Met Your
The Cubs' 21st round pick last year, Steven Parak, sexless. The 6-foot right-hander is on. 22 years old.
Out of the University of Maine, the Black Bears.
Massachusetts native. And he faces Adam Rosales in a first pitch strike.
I don't know the state of that program up there, but for a number of years, the University of Maine played pretty good baseball. One of the better programs, maybe the best program in the Northeast for a time. You'll remember Billy Swift, sinker baller for the Giants. He's out of the University of Maine. So this is exciting for Steven. Well, freshly signed last year, pitched in rookie ball. Well, here he is in a big league exhibition game.
Mike Bordick.
That's right.
Another product of Maryland.
Man, could he pick it?
Two and one the count. The other Cubs squad is trailing 8-3 in the bottom of the 8th in Las Vegas. So the Cubs sweeping a split squad day yesterday and in danger of being swept today. Cubs will have one more split squad day. That'll be this Thursday. One team will head to Tucson for a charity game, and the other will be in Peoria against the Mariners. Gets away from Gibbs and allows Perino to advance to third.
Now things are getting a little sloppy here late in this game. It's been a long day at the ballpark. Sometimes the concentration wavers. All with that errant throw in from left field. Now it's ball in the dirt.
I know you're talking about my play-by-play.
Well,
a little better.
I told you yesterday, man. I just got down here. I'm on a word count. And, oh my!
That is deep to left. And Adam Rosales is having a day, and he's only played about 3 innings. He has 2 two-run homers.
At least he's not wasting his time getting around the bases. Coach back home, watching, no doubt, enjoying that moment for Rosales. We should put a clock on his home run trot. It's a home run sprint.
Well, there is a website, Tater Trot Tracker, that does time everybody's home run trot.
Who's the slowest, do you know?
Last year, Bobby Abreu had the slowest, 31.56 seconds.
Wow.
Let's see here. Find the fastest.
Probably Carlos Gomez.
Well, minor leaguer Billy Hamilton, 13.8. At the big league level, Peter Borges, 14.26.
Are they inside the Parkers?
These were inside the Parkers, yes. Let's find out the quickest trot for a non-inside the park. Bryce Harper, 16.2.
A little pushback fastball.
So Bryce Harper would have been close to lapping Bobby Abreu. Abreu went around in 31.5 seconds and Harper in 16.2, so he might have caught him the second time around.
It's the hyperactive rookie and the old veteran.
Rosales was on the list, and so was Carlos Gomez. In under 17 seconds.
Gomez race around the bases on a foul ball or something.
He's, I mean, really fun to watch run the bases. Except for when he's playing against your team. This will back up Villanueva. But he has time, and that'll end the inning. They add 4 to their lead. It's 12-6 to the 9th. Time now for our Budweiser player of the game. Adam Rosales did not start this game, but he's come on to hit two-run homers. So Adam Rosales, our Budweiser player of the game. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Ekstrom with a quick 1-2-3 in the 8th, still working here in the 9th. It's Micah Gibbs. And he takes ball 1. He's a switch hitter. 3rd round pick in 2010 out of LSU.
Played at Single A Daytona last year at 200. 4 home runs, drove in 16, 185 at bats for Gibbs.
From Dallas, Texas, and the 2-1. He's hit foul out of play. Now full 3-2. Comes ball 4, leadoff walk. Ace pitchers have done a really good job in not walking people all spring. That is the first walk a Cub batter has taken today.
Leadoff walk in the ninth inning with a 6-run lead. That'll get you fine in Kangaroo Court.
Ball 1 to Villanueva. Ball 2. As JD mentioned, 6-run lead. The last thing Bob Melvin wants to see is his pitcher walking people.
That's probably what the catcher's saying, and he's, come on, man, throw strikes. And Ekstrom's probably telling him, yeah, I got you. I know that's the plan. Trying.
Missed again, 3-0.
This could be the beginning of something big, Len. This could be a huge rally.
The Cubs need a lot of base runners here. That's a strike. It's 3-1. Let's see if the kids can mount a ninth inning comeback. Usually when you have these big comebacks late, it's guys over from minor league camp or non-roster players. Base hit left field. 2 on, no outs.
They're saying some of the veterans might be willing to call it a day. There's Rob Deere, new on the staff this year as the assistant hitting coach.
Jonathan Moda, his first at bat. You can now have, I believe, that extra coach in the dugout during games. Most teams have an assistant hitting coach, maybe an assistant pitching coach. Cubs with a couple of staff assistants. So we've seen on-field personnel increase for just about every club in baseball. It makes sense to have 2 hitting coaches. Guys want to hit in the cage every day, and with only 1 hitting coach, you can't be in 2 places at once. One guy wants to hit in the cage, another guy wants to look at video.
Yeah, there may be early BP going on in the field. Meanwhile, somebody's back in the cage wanting to work on their swing. And they want somebody standing alongside to analyze their swing for them.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner to get Moda.
And, not to imply that it's a bad thing. We have a tendency in this game, those of us who played years ago, tend to second guess a lot of the stuff that goes on in the modern game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But just to point out the differences back in the day, you showed up at the ballpark, you went out and took BP, and you played the game, and there was some early work going on in the field some days. Occasionally, guys would do a little extra work in the cage, but there's a lot more tinkering with the swing, analyzing the swing, and I think a lot of it is that the guys are raised doing that now. Young players come into professional baseball having had personalized instruction from the time they were 9 years old with professional trainers.
1-0 on West Darville. Slicing drive, caught by Perez, 2 down. So in other words, you're saying guys need nurturing, they need feedback more today than they did before.
Well, I don't know if I think they're kind of raised that way, raised in the game that way, where they had a lot of personal instruction coming up through, whereas, guys my age and my generation probably, played a lot of sandlot ball and then got into high school ball and then, developed through college and into professional ball without any real top-notch instruction until they got into college or even professional baseball. There's a slew of ex-professional players out there, major and minor leaguers, giving lessons. I think the modern player is used to that. He's used to having somebody say, hey, man, keep your shoulder in, do this, hands back, load this, all the terminology.
There's a 1-0 to Baez, swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. 1-1. Cubs put the first 2 on, but now they're 2 down. And a called strike. They're down to their final swing here. Stays alive.
That's 2 for 4 today. It's an off day for him because he hasn't gotten deep. He's racing the bar awfully high.
Ground ball. Nice pick by Moore. And that will do it as the A's beat the Cubs. A final today.
Here come the bros.
Barney Stinson is about to aid and abet a